Okay, we are live. Hello. Hi, Love Master. Waiting for a couple more people to join. Okay.
Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Saudamini. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Thank you
You're in
so much for
Delhi? You're
doing this.
joining us from Delhi?
Yeah. I'm in Delhi. And thank you so much for doing this right now, not in the morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Outside.
joining us, I would say.
Thank you.
So, we have a few people already. So, I think we'll start off. So, just a quick introduction. Saudamini is a multi-talented person. She's an artist. You can see some of her artwork in the background. She's
No,
an
that's not
author.
mine.
She's
That's
an.
what I'm saying. Please don't do that. That's not mine. Change the
I
fashion.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I just assumed. No, but I've seen some of your artwork. It's really good work.
No, please
Uh,
don't. Like, check out my Instagram handle.
so publishes work under the brand name Dhi,
Wait a
and that
minute.
is what we are.
Wait a minute, Manav, you just blanked out. I think the internet was kind of going around. Can you repeat the
Okay.
question? I didn't.
Sure. So I just wanted to know, you publish all your artwork and even your book under the brand name Dhi. So I wanted to know the story behind why you chose Dhi. I know in Sanskrit it's a Sanskrit word which means mind. But from you, I wanted to know what is your perspective of for choosing this name.
Well, that is the point, isn't it? I mean, I chose the word he because what she is the intellect that
Hmm.
transcends the material energy. So
Okay.
he I wanted a name which was pronounceable, short. I mean, my name is actually quite long, so that means I've like battled with it all my life. So I was like, if I have to give a normal, not normal, but just a name which is instantly related to my alter ego, that would be P. And
Hmm.
it's short. It's only like composed of three letters. It's meaningful. It's deep, and in fact, it is actually part of most of the texts and mantras that we have in our religion, unbeknownst to us. Even we aren't aware of the extent to which we even knowing that we're actually using that word subliminally. So the actual theme, but the name itself. Was also like very important to me. It was imperative that people should understand that he doesn't just signify, like a woman with a typewriter on her head, in terms of the spirituality of it.
Sounds very interesting. I like how what you said about we reading out most of the mantras, but we don't really know what it means. So, like I have read out a lot of mantras, but never noticed the word "be" in it because I believe it becomes a part of the entire mantra itself. So, consequently, the word doesn't stand out, and I never noticed it from myself.
Okay, yeah, and a lot of people don't, and you understand. A lot of Hindi names also are composed of, the word "the" in it. I
Hmm.
mean, in them, in all the names like it's like Samriddhi, and there's so many names that like end or begin with the prefix or the suffix "the."
Right, right. I never noticed it to be honest, but now that I think about it, yeah, I can see that relationship. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think that fits very well with how you write a lot of quotes, right?
Yeah, that's
And
what I was wanting to like
mhm.
I actually started with quotes when I was about 7 or 8, I think, and I
Wow.
used to, yeah, I used to illustrate those, and I think even before I started painting, I began penning quotes, and I think Dhi was born then. It's just that she got a name in the year 2015. And
Wow.
she got a form in 2015 as a painting, but quotes began first. If you ask me
Hmm.
which of the firsts happened first, you know.
Right. Okay. I think yeah, and I can see so okay. So now that you know mentioned you've been writing quotes since you were 7, I can see how that you have in your quotes has come into being. For example, I'd actually like to narrate out one quote. Of, is it better?
Can you repeat that?
Hello.
You broke up actually. The internet, I think from your end is quite, you know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay,
So could you repeat?
so I'll just repeat my question. I was actually going to narrate out one quote of yours, and let me do that first, and then I'll ask my question over there. The quote is, as long as you're capable of devoting your own self, questioning and challenging your point of view, you'd always land up doing the right thing. I love this quote, you know, because I do
Yeah,
that
you're
a
talking
lot.
about the one which I posted recently, I think.
Yes, yes.
Since you're breaking up, I'm trying to piece together the words and like make sense of it. So
Sorry about my
it's
internet connection.
yeah. So what about that?
So I wanted to know whether were you facing any specific kind of. So I love stories, right? I think it should be obvious. It's a Bookstagram page. But what I wanted to know was, were you facing any kind of a challenge, or did you go through any event that actually made you think and come up with this piece of code?
Yeah, a number of them, in fact. I mean, you get into a situation and that's how you react. When I say that's how you react on the form of a code, but like, like for instance, in life, there are various kinds of events that happen, whether it's death or birth or marriage or love or friendship. And I call them events consciously that make you question a lot. And one of the key things in life is decision making, to make the right decision at the right point. And a lot of our emotions are governed by decision making. So, like, I
Hmm.
think if that's where most of us screw up, right? I mean, like, when you can't make the right decision, that sometimes you just get blown up into a tragedy. So, like, doing the right thing is so central to what these stands for because it goes to show the power of free will. As long as you're doing the right thing, most probably destiny will be kind to you. That's not to say that you'll be lucky. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's just that maybe you'll
Correct.
have the peace of mind of having at least done. I know it's so cliche that you sleep with a clean conscience and all of that. But when I say doing the right thing here, in this context, what it really means is not taking the burden of negative emotions, and being confident
Right.
and being
Right.
clear in your intentions. And
Correct.
I think once you have that in mind, a lot of things get simplified. So it's not even something. It's not about clean conscience either. It's just about simplifying things in your own mind. So there's less anxiety, less depression, less of all those mental disorders that we speak about at length. It's self-help in a way.
Hmm.
I mean, the simpler you keep yourself and your life could become. For instance, like if you,
That. Mhm.
yeah, please go on.
Please go
I
ahead.
just
Please go
have my tea. It's like very cold, so like excuse me. Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
No, no, that's fine. I know it's really cold in Delhi right now. So I actually, agree with what you said because if you know you're doing the right thing or doing right by your own self, at least from a from at least your conscience would be clean whenever you're doing it. The result may be great, result may be bad, but at least in your mind, you're like, okay, I did the
And
right
things
thing.
might
That's
still not
fine.
work out. Yeah, things might still not work out. But it's just that you know
Yeah,
that um, I can't even say that, oh, you had nothing to do with it. I mean, somewhere we still go wrong. In spite of
right.
having the best intentions, we can't be holier than thou. We wouldn't be born in that case. It's just that it makes, like
True,
I said, it makes things simpler for you, and it's just
true.
like less stress for you. I think that's it. It's just keeping things simple for your sake. Nothing, like too complicated. But I do believe
Agreed,
in doing the
agreed.
right thing, yeah, to that extent, because
I completely agree with you. Yeah.
and I think questioning, the thing is, we never do. I mean, you're questioning me right now. I mean, you're interviewing. To put it harshly, you're questioning me. Like, what I mean to say is that we don't quite question ourselves. Like if we get into a situation, what did he mean by that? What does she mean by that? Why does she do this? I mean, does she feel jealous of me? Does she hate me? Is she competing with me, or is he someone who's trying to like take advantage of me? I don't think we self-questioning enough. I mean, we need to ask and understand our intentions first. We have to first inquire what is it that we are doing and why is it that we're doing in that particular thing that we are contemplating or whatever it might be, the action that we're going to be taking. For instance, like if I'm going to be like getting into a friendship or a relationship, why am I going for it? What's the intention? Am I in it for some lighthearted fun or am I in it for commitment? I mean, we need to do a lot of introspection ourselves before we get into something. And I do believe that it all works in a very rational fashion at times. If your intention is clear, you'll at least never ever be puzzled about the outcome.
Correct,
Peace of
correct.
mind, like that.
That makes sense. And in fact, if you do that level of, I'd like to add one more point over here that it's very important that when you're doing this introspection, at least be honest with yourself. Like, even if it's you're not doing something for the right intentions, know that this is what your true intention is. Otherwise, you just end up fooling yourself and not getting what you wanted in the first place.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Right. Okay. So while we're on the topic of quotes, there's one thing that I've always wondered because, like you said, you went through some challenges and you learned from that. You created this quote. We all go through a series of events and we all react in some specific way, but we never come up with quotes. So I want to understand what is your inspiration and where you get that drive and motivation to create your quotes. Is it just these events that happen in your life? Or do you do a lot of introspection from where these quotes come out? How do you do it?
So Dhi had a typewriter on her head for a reason. She is someone
Mm-hmm.
who thinks a lot, who analyzes a lot. I think, I mean, there is no bigger inspiration than life itself, right? So every
True.
time, I mean, like I told you, I've been doing this for so long since I was a kid, even subconsciously. Like you don't quite realize why or like how it got triggered, the thought, but you just pen it down, and then you make sense of it later. That maybe that's why it came out this way. So yeah,
Correct.
situations, relationship, they're like always the biggest inspiration. And I think it's something which like the musing when I say they're musing, I mean they're observations, right? Like you observe life, you observe your reactions, and you just feel like penning them down because you think someday they're going to be of help to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that. That's the intention. Otherwise, why will I pen it down? I'm just going to like, keep it in my own mind and, be careful next time before jumping into any other tragedy. But like, in terms of the purpose of penning it down is to communicate and maybe to help people. Maybe my perspective, a point of view that I've developed, or not just developed, but harbored after a scenario which might be a situation, a tragedy, a problem, whatever it might be, maybe it's going to help someone else. It's just that. But yeah, inspiration is life for certain. I mean, you have relationships, you have, like I said, events. I call them all events. I think all of them are events. So yeah, life gives you a lot of, it provides you with a lot of fodder that way. I think if you keep your eyes
Correct.
open and ears open, I don't think you'll ever be out of inspiration. Life is like dynamic.
True.
It's never stagnant. It's just a way
Never
of
at all.
seeing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. There's one more thing I want to know here. So you keep saying that he is like this. So now, and you did mention, sort of alluded to this point in the first question, and that is Dhi is your alter ego. So, why did you create an alter ego and not just publish everything under your name? I know one reason was because you felt your name was too long, but I'm sure there's a lot of depth
That was
over
just
here.
a classical paraphrase. Just because the name is long. No, that's not the reason. I didn't say. Okay, we go through that. No, that's a very complicated question you've asked me. Why did I do that? I don't know. I think it came from being a painter, maybe, to visually
Uh-huh.
because Saudamini was the name I was given, right?
Hmm.
So, by the way, that was really funny. I mean, I'm still cracking up. I'm trying very hard to control my laughter. My name was long. I know. All the day, everything is gone out the window. No, it's not. I mean, I think, like I said, I was born Saudamini. I was given that name, but Dhi is what I've made of myself. You know, that's how I view myself. That's my point of view. That's my perspective. I think Saudamini is what the world sees me as, and he is what I see myself as. I'm not saying I'm as wise or intelligent or any of those things. He is she's too evolved. But I'm just saying that's my aspirational self. I aspire to be like her. You know.
I
So,
think that's a good idea because we
Saudamini
all aspire to be
Saudamini is
something.
like no great state. You know, he is something. At least in my own head.
I think that's a good idea because we all aspire to be something, and typically when we create an alter ego, it is something we do aspire to be. I think so.
Yeah,
I think that
it's
fits in very well.
aspirational. Yeah. And I think everyone should have it. I think everyone should have an alter ego. They should introspect, go into this contemplative mode, come up with your alter ego because you aspire to be like that. I mean, that's your honest perception and what your honest desire that this is what I want to ultimately become in life. And then you work towards it. And that's how you even line up in the right thing because you don't want to let your aspirational self down. If you know what I mean.
True.
So I think aspire to be like a certain being. I think if it makes things easier for you.
True. So, and in one sense, when you do that, you actually end up becoming your own role model, which I
Yeah.
personally too feel that it's a little better than having an external role model, because then you
Yeah.
compete with yourself, you try to improve yourself, and you might actually end up, being better than what you aspire to be.
Very true. I agree with that.
Mhm. Okay, so I want to understand Dee and Saudamini a little more. So what I've done is
Okay.
I've created a list of topics, and I want you to tell me how Dee would cope with those topics versus how Saudamini would, right?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
There'd be
So let's start.
major differences, by the way. Sometimes no
Yeah.
correlation.
Yeah,
Extremely
I would.
realistic. Yeah.
Let's see. So
Yeah.
I'll start with failure. How does Dee cope with failure? How does Saudamini do it?
Hmm. Well, he wouldn't know what that is. No, I'm just kidding.
Dee is a
How would he
genius.
cope
Like,
with yeah, she's meant to be. No, I'm just joking. I think what he would cope with failure. I think you're probably right about it. I think no, I think failure okay, it's going to be a process of selective elimination. You know what that is?
mhm.
So you create a
Right.
list. She's going to rationalize it. If this hasn't worked, cross it out. On to the next thing.
Correct.
It's like the way scientists kind of work on their experiments. If it hasn't worked, cut it out. On to the next experiment. So that's how she'll cope with
Correct.
it. It's a process of selective elimination. You know, it's guiding you to some place. I mean, failure is always that none of us kind of understand that. But this is what it means. It's selective elimination. If it hasn't worked, cross it out. On to the next thing. You keep experimenting. You know, so I think that's how she'll cope
Okay.
with it. I mean, she's list it down that okay, this hasn't worked, cross it out, you know, not to fret over.
And how would Saudamini do
Oh, she'll have a breakdown, she'll have a meltdown, she'll cry.
it?
question herself. She'll do all the wrong things.
Cry into a pillow,
And
probably.
that is very human. She'll do all the wrong things. She'll cry. She'll break a few heads, maybe. Hurt the people
I
she
don't
loves.
want to be around Saudamini. Uh, okay. Let's talk about success then. How do you two deal with success?
These are quite heavy questions, by the way. I never expected them to be like success. So he would, again, it's going to be like, successful experiment, on to the next one. Again, with her, it's going to be like, she's going to be rather blank about it. Like, you combine red and white and you get pink. So that's the success. And but also the experiment, we're here making something. That's the. So that is going to be like, oh my God, I think she's going to be on cloud number 9. She's going to be jumping over the moon, I guess. And like, just, again, explosive reaction. She's going to like celebrate, scream her way through it, maybe.
Right.
And just declare that she is like the God's greatest gift to mankind. Till it comes, it comes falling down the next day with another failure. Comes really falling down, gets deflated.
And then back to crying into a pillow.
Yeah. Then like, okay, it's going to go on the crest and troughs. Till it comes. Yeah.
So Dhi is more calm. She's calm in all scenarios. Failure, good, success, good.
She's very. She's not the one to get swayed by ups and downs and all these things. She has a head on her shoulders and she's pretty static in this dynamic life. Yeah,
right.
At least I like to believe that she is. She's rational and not stable because she is so sorted, but because I think life is an experiment for her. It's like science. While Saudamini is like as human as you or anyone else. She's explosive, impulsive, and all the wrong things.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. Okay. How about relationships? How do each of you deal with relationships?
Oh, now I'm there.
It's getting deeper and deeper.
No. So like, why don't you break it down further? What relationship? Friendship, family, romantic relationships? Like, what exactly are you trying to?
All of them. So let's start with family.
Family. So I think Dhi, again, like I said, she is her rational self, so she is going to be fulfilling all the duties and obligations, and again, in a very rational, scientific fashion. The right thing. This is what she stands for. So you'll never catch her being unfair or. Though she could come across as very distant at times because she's more rational than emotional. So like in terms of a family relationship, we're going to be pretty much, I think, like always trying to do the right thing and donning responsibilities and obligations, trying to don the responsibilities. So that me is like still like flawed. So again, a lot of emotion there, but capable of being misunderstood. Definitely, which I think he wouldn't be. She's going to be pretty. She's going to be like quite direct, pretty direct. Yeah.
Pretty direct. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so this was about family. How about friendship?
Friendship. Again, like I said, doing the right thing. So Dhi is going to be like, okay, this is one commonality between Dhi and Saudamini. Both of them are extremely loyal. So in terms of friendship, because that's again doing the right thing. I think both of them. I think that's one area where Dhi and Saudamini become one. I think I think loyalty, which is the most important thing to me in friendship. I think that's I think that's the way we both react.
True. I think loyalty is very important in a friendship. But I think there might be certain scenarios where he might get into some conflict, at least a mental conflict in the sense that what is the right thing to do versus be loyal to your friend.
She's going to have an hour-long argument or a debate. She's going to like trash out the issue. So that might and get become volatile. Dhi is not going to do that. She's just going to argue her case like a lawyer.
All right. Like, okay, this, here. you know what, this is how
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. And analyzing it. That's what you had said. That's why my reactions and my responses to that, all of that.
Dee would probably make a good lawyer then.
Sorry?
Okay. I said Dee might make a good lawyer then.
Yeah. Loyally, yeah.
Okay. So, lastly, how about romantic relationships? How would Dee and Saudamini deal with it?
Ooh, that's hard now. Romantic relationship. So you can't expect any kind of romance from Dhi. Okay?
Okay.
Like
She's too
if
objective.
you embark on any relationship, it's going to be like a contract. They're going to draw out mutually with all the going on mutually,
Hmm.
and to everyone's satisfaction. It's going to be very contractual, I think. And then no, like cloud in the field or head in the clouds for Dhi. That's out. Like if the book, you've got to be like you got to say this and you got to do this with the man. She'll do that. She's going to be pretty bookish. I mean, pretty, yeah, not pretty, but quite bookish, I think. And
Uh-huh.
it's always like, so I don't think she's going to be a romantic pleasure, by the way. I think she's going to be pretty much of a dry person. And, but Sudhami could be fun. I think she could keep you on your toes. And quite different from Dee. I think that's why they're, like what I said, in terms of friendship, they're very similar. In terms of a romantic relationship, they're polar opposites.
Polar
Like,
opposites, yeah.
you
Sounds
don't get more
like
than
that.
that. You don't get, yeah, completely poles apart. Yeah.
All right. Makes sense. How about let's take something light. How about jobs?
About jobs.
Yeah.
You said jobs, right?
Occupation,
Okay.
job,
So
profession.
yeah, okay. I think both again, I mean, that's one of the other fields that both of them coincide, that they have overlapping, I
Uh-huh.
think, beliefs, ideologies, like doing what makes sense to you, through which you can help
Uh-huh.
people. I think Dhi and Saddam both aspire for that. I mean, just being able to help people and make a buck of it. Because, the thing is that it's not too different. People always tend to like differentiate between earning and doing things for others or contributing or your passion. They're not too different. I think like you are going to be paid for something you need it for, right? And if you need it for
Right.
it, you are helping. If you're charging for it, that's because of survival. Because you're a human being as well. You need food on the plate. You need to feed yourself. So I don't think of them as being too different. I don't think that doing something for others and doing a job, they're too different. I think we are here in terms of, like building a career and all of that. We are here to serve the world and also to earn through that so that we can feed ourselves and continue to do so. So I think to me,
Okay.
both of them they're the same. I don't think it's different. So yeah, help people and earn your survival through it because you will. I think that's why money is the biggest validation. If you're paid for something, that means you're good at it. That validates you. That means you're bringing something of value to the other person. So
Correct.
that is the biggest validation with awards and all of those things. I'm not dissing them. I'm just saying that money is the biggest validation because someone is paying you for something. That means you're bringing something to the table. Not to say that you can't
Definitely.
help people without being paid for it. I'm just saying that that's how it begins, and because you are a human being and you need to survive. Yeah.
True. Yeah, you do need
Yeah.
to survive, and I think money is the biggest form of validation. And I think so. Take a small detour over here. There's a series by this very famous chef in which he'll feed his audience. It's basically a competition between two teams. He'll feed the audience, and at the end, he'll decide the winner by asking the audience just one question: would you pay for this food? And that's it. That's the
Ah,
only question.
so then I'm right. He is
So,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
right.
That's
The
what I
money is
think.
definitely the strong validation over there. Yeah.
That's why it's tested, right? Your love is tested when it comes to that. When it comes to money, I think your love, your feelings, your emotions, all the admiration and flattery is tested. So,
Yeah,
like you like it, pay for it. So,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sounding
Are you
really
willing to pay
bold,
for
by the
it?
way, but I'm just trying to say that it's not like all about the money; it's about the validation. Let me
Yeah, yeah.
clarify. Yeah.
True. Okay. Uh, Last point. how do you approach a problem, both Saudamini and Dhi? I think I have a little bit of idea about both of you now, so I think I can predict, but I would love to know from you.
How do I approach a problem?
Yeah, Dhi versus Saudamini.
Again, Dhi with her pen and paper. She's gonna jot things down, do the
Yeah,
math, put things together.
right.
You know, like this happened as a result of that. Make a flow chart. She's gonna make a flow chart. I can assure you that how she's gonna cope with it. You know, and I think Sudhani, yeah, I can assure you, she's gonna make a flow chart and one thing led to another point A led to point B. And
Yeah.
Saudamini is going to be like pretty much all scattered and impulsive and like think later maybe after having done the damage that, oh, that's what it was supposed to be. But she's more instinctive. She's not going to she's going to react in a very volatile, instinctive fashion, I think.
You know what, when you were saying flowchart, I was actually picturing a mind map. Like on the board, you have five different topics, and there's a wire, ball of wire coming here, there.
So there is a painting, by the way, in which I've depicted he as like, you know, standing in front of a flow chart. With,
Oh, is it?
yeah. You'll find it on my Instagram handle. It's debating, I think.
Check that out.
Yeah, debating. Yeah.
Okay. I see a lot of new people. So, guys, welcome to this live. Just to give you some idea, we are talking with Saudamini Mishra, also Dhi. So she produces a lot of, she's an artist, she's an illustrator and an author, and she produces all of her work under the brand name Dhi. And those of you who have been to Delhi International Airport, T3, you'll see all her artwork on all her paintings are there. I mean, not all of them, most of them. I mean,
Some of them,
okay,
right?
so I put it wrong.
There are 4 or 5
Right,
of
I
them.
put it wrong. Correct. So most of the artwork that you
Some
see
of
in
them,
the
yeah.
airport is by Saudamini. Sorry, I framed it wrong. Okay, my bad. Okay. Okay, so bad, so wrong of me there. Okay, anyways, let's move on. I'll move on to the next question. What is a normal day like for Dhi?
For Dhi.
For Dhi.
Oh, what a lovely question. For Dhi, that's going to make me. So apart from these things, like waking up, brushing her teeth, bathing, and getting into clothes, she's going to be found in a room, just like I said, writing away on a typewriter, like shattering of the keys. And yeah, the keys, she's going to be punching in those keys, I think, throughout the day until like she has to finally get up after about 10 to 18 hours and feed herself to survive. But she's going to be primarily spending 18 hours just typing away, maybe gibberish at times, but trying to make sense of it.
Okay. And what about Saudamini?
No time for anything else, just for herself and her mind. The typewriter on her head. Yeah.
I can totally see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let me do this. Before I move on to my next two questions, which would be the last questions which I have, I'll actually open the floor for the audience. You guys ask away.
Yeah, I think someone was asking for my Instagram handle. You should give it out. That's the only question
Yes,
I
yes.
have.
You know what? I'll put my put her Instagram handle in the caption when this goes on IGTV live, IGTV. All of
Okay.
you would be able to see her page. Okay, one question I'm getting from V Pooja is Dhi your ideal self?
Yes. Like I said, she's my aspirational self. So yeah, she's the ideal self. At least my ideal self.
Okay. The next question I'm getting is from Bluff Master Tanuj. He's saying, how do you decide when you behave like Saudamini or Dhi? Oh, that's an interesting question.
What? What was that?
How do you decide when you behave like Saudamini or Dhi?
Ooh. Wow. I love that question. First of all, fantastic question. I think whenever I do the right thing, whenever I'm understood, whenever I'm like on a roll where I can't complain, that's Dhi. Whenever I'm like being wise, I'm being sensible, calm, trying to like conquer my inner demons, I'm being Dhi. Whenever I'm being destructive, I'm Saudamini.
Right. Okay,
So
yeah,
that's
that
how I,
makes sense.
yeah.
So it depends on how you're reacting to a situation.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, when I'm doing the right thing and I'm being wise and sensible about things, sensible as maybe a bit more calmer, trying to be more analytical, and that's why hence sensible. Then I'm Dhi. Otherwise,
Uh,
I'm otherwise that's at the time of Saudamini.
okay, yeah, makes sense.
Right now, I'm
And
Saudamini.
I,
Yeah,
and I believe you try to go into the direction of Dhi because that is your aspirational self.
yeah, always.
Okay. I'm getting another question by Yoga Trails. He's asking, how would Dhi describe Saudamini? Interesting question.
Ooh, that's again a good question because I've been describing Dhi so far. So like, Dhi describes about me as impulsive, destructive, and someone who is, I think, too. The third word, I'm finding a very nice fit for it. I don't want to use the wrong word because I've already said impulsive and destructive. I think I think not impulsive again. But yeah, destructive, impulsive, and yeah, she'll call her creative for sure. Yeah. Creative and destructive. Polar opposites again, but yeah. She'll describe Saudamini as that.
Okay.
Destructive yet creative but impulsive. I mean, and all three of them are interrelated. You know?
True.
A
Yeah, that's what I
creative, a
think. It's
creative, a creative destructive force. That's what she'll call Saudamini. There you
that's in
go.
one word.
I've summed it up.
All right. So creative,
Yeah.
destructive. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that makes sense because Dhi is very objective and Saudamini is
Yeah.
really
So she
active.
finds Saudamini too volatile. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't have any other question right now coming from the audience.
Yeah,
But
that's a good one.
as and when they
Sounds like
do, I'll
Shiva.
just keep it. Yeah, sounds like Shiva. I just saw that.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are writing your next book. If it's okay with you, we'd love to know about it and when it's coming out.
Yeah. So I'm working on it. Should be out within this year. It's going to be
Okay.
actually it's an intuitive flip book of guidance. It's called Dhee's Book of Guidance. I mean, at least that's a working title as of now. It's a tentative title. When I say tentative, I mean uh, it might not be tentative in a few days, but right now I'm still working around it. So like it's meant to be like, it has all the musings, all the
Mhm.
quotes, original writing, and it's meant to be flipped through intuitively to get an answer in life, how to cope with a certain situation. So the quote
Mhm.
that's meant for you will be flipped in the book by the force of nature. So, like, there is a book called Book of Answers by Carol Bold. It's along the same lines. It's just that that's used for prediction while it's used for guidance. So, it's an intuitive flip book for the quote, and it's going to guide you in life through situations that you find kind of like are puzzling or problematic. So that's the next book. It should be
Okay.
out this year. Yeah.
Sounds good. And I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot, but I'm not sure what a flip book is. Could you just tell
Okay.
me?
There are lots of no, you know what a flip book is. There are various
Yeah.
kinds of flip books. As well. While what I'm talking about, the intuitive flip book, we're meant to flip through pages and arrive at a certain page which will have a code or a musing which is going to guide you. For example, if I'm in a situation and I need to I'm like quite like messed up in my life right now. I'm going to hold that
Okay.
book in my hand, flip through it intuitively, and I'm going to like trust my hands to guide me to the page which is going to have a quote or a musing over it, a the musing if you please, which is going to tell me how to cope with that, what I'm meant to know at that point, the message for me from the
Hmm.
universe. So I'm going to stop at that page. I'm
Oh,
going to flip
that
it
sounds
up.
interesting.
So it's
Okay,
a
now I'm
tool, not
genuinely
really a book
interested.
that you do. Yeah, it's a tool actually. So like the pages are going to guide you. Like you have to run your fingers through the pages, and the page you arrive at, I mean, that's going to tell you exactly what you're meant to do or think about at that particular point. Because like we have had books like that in the past, but they'd be predictive, like yes or no. Will I get the job? And you try and pick out a page, and it says no or yes. This is not predictive. It's guidance based. It's going to tell you what you need, what you're meant to know at the current point. You know what the universe would want you to know. Like we go through Facebook and Instagram, and suddenly you see a quote of the day, and you're like, oh, it's like I was meant to know that today. It's like I was meant to read that today. It's just that here it's in the form of a book. So it's more personalized
Okay.
because what you're reading on the screen is being accessed by a lot of people, so you think it's generic. But in the book form, it's more personalized. It's a message directly for you. You know.
So it's like the universe telling you the answer.
Yeah, it's like under the name of Dhi, it's like universe's answer for you, like what you need to hear at a certain given point.
That's very interesting. And I think Yoga Trails and I were thinking along the same lines because he just asked a question: is there going to be a Dhee's tarot?
Yeah, actually, I had thought of that. There was going to be an oracle deck based on Dhi, and but
Okay.
that's going to take a long time for me to compose and like design because it includes illustrating all the cards and everything, and it can't just have 10, 15 cards. It's going to have a bunch of them. So that's going to be a very long, drawn out project. It's going to take a lot of time for me to get down to that.
Right.
But there will be someday a Dhi's oracle, maybe. At least I hope. Yeah.
So, okay, Booker Bong, he's not really asking a question, but regarding your book, he's saying it's kind of a book version of an 8-ball. Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, sorry, what? I didn't get that. Is it?
Yeah, he's saying it sounds like a book version of an 8-ball. So 8-ball is like this
8 balls?
magical ball. So
Oh, yeah,
it's like this magical ball.
yeah. I think I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about because I've had it. But that's predictive again. That's again like a yes and no thing. Maybe yes and no. But this is not that. This is not predictive at all. In fact, this is just about it's meant to guide you. It's not meant to tell you whether you're going to get that job or not. Any of those things. It's meant to tell you what you're meant to know at that particular point in time. You know what I mean?
Oh. So
I'm not-
basically guide you, okay, this is how you're probably supposed to approach this problem.
If you go to my quote on my Instagram handle, imagine one of those quotes coming up to you as a message. So it's not exactly a yes or a no, it's a quote. But it's going to give you it's going to shed light on a particular problem of yours.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, so the last question I have is this is for all the authors who are there in this live. And I have spoken to a lot of authors. They keep trying to write their books. Some of them, give up, or a lot of them don't really know what to do. And what is your advice to anyone who's writing their debut novel right now?
Keep at it. I think it's the most committed job ever. It's almost like marriage. You have to be committed. And once you finish a book, it's the most fulfilling thing ever because it goes to show that you've lived up to a commitment. Don't give up.
Okay.
Finish it. There are lots of writers and lots of books that lie unfinished, under one's bed or in the closet, under the clothes. But finish the book. Don't give up. And don't rush through it. I mean, I would advise you not to do that, but finish the book. Don't give up. A lot of people do this. A lot of authors are on their way of becoming established authors or becoming names, or because the first few chapters are like just spectacularly good, but then they just give up, and they don't finish it. And I think they could have had a promising career ahead of them, but they chose to give up. And I think. I'll just say be committed. It's the most important thing. If nothing else in life, if no other commitment pays off, writing a book is definitely a commitment that will pay off, for sure. Just keep that in mind. No other commitment will pay you off the way writing a book can. Because writing a book is your creation. It will never let you down. So keep at it.
It is your own, yeah, it's your creation, correct. Yeah, I completely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's very beautifully put, if you ask me.
Keep at it. By the way, I didn't say finish what you start. I said start what you finish. There's a difference there. There's a whole philosophy behind it. Like, yeah, because a lot of people like they stop midway. They think they finished a few chapters and they let go of the project. I'm saying start all over again. If it has to be a new beginning in the same book, let it be, but just finish it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I
That took some
think
time
you got
to.
that. I had to like elaborate. Bring your attention back to that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I actually missed that until you pointed it out, and now I'm wrapping my head around this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's very beautifully put. Awesome. I think we are towards the end of our interview right now,
Yeah.
and I don't see any more questions from the audience. So I guess I would say thanks a lot, Sadamni, for your time and sharing such insights with us. Every time I speak to an author, every time I have an IG live, I have tons to take away, and today was the same. I had a
Thank
lot of interesting insights that I learned from you, and
thank
definitely,
you.
especially the last part, start what you finish. That is something definitely I'm going to apply
Yeah,
in
maybe that can be
my.
your time. No, I'm just
Yeah.
joking. People wouldn't understand. They'll think you've just gone wrong in your sentence construction. Yeah.
No, but definitely something I'm taking away from today's discussion. Great, then. Thanks a lot, Sadamni, for all your
Thank you
time
so much,
today.
Manu. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Bye.